I have just gotten back from PAX East 2024, and I come back with an exclusive scoop. Spyro 4 is in development. That's a statement. No theory crafting, no evidence-based assumptions, no conspiracies, or even a heavy-handed hint. Spyro 4 is in development. Period. But there is a bit of a catch. So today, I'm going to explain how I came across this information, what I know, where it came from, how it's been developed, and what this catch exactly is. Let's talk about it.
Whoa!
What's up, guys? Canadian Guy here, and I'll be honest, my heart is pounding while I'm making this video. Now, I'm going to be clear, I have to be extremely careful with what I say in this video. So I have a script set up here to make sure that I don't slip up and to make sure that I am crystal clear with what I'm saying. So if my eyes are looking down here and it doesn't look like I'm looking at the camera, it's simply because I'm making sure I'm staying on script. I don't want to say or miss too much. So Toys for Bob has been in the news quite a bit, from the layoffs to the physical studio shutting down to them going indie. During all of this wave of news since the start of 2024, I have been speaking privately with many different people within the industry. In those conversations, I have been hearing whispers of a brand new Spyro being in development, but nothing was concrete. There wasn't enough for me to conclusively say that something was legitimately in development, and no one was willing to go on record to state this anonymously. But on March 20th of 2024, so very recently, my friend Tyler and I flew out to Boston to meet up with a bunch of friends to go to PAX East 2024. PAX East is a convention center where developers go to show their games, whether it's a single-person team or AAA companies like Nintendo. All developers are welcome. Additionally, having a content creator badge has its advantages, as I was able to strike up and have longer, extensive conversations with many of these developers that were at PAX East. During one of my many conversations where I was explaining the channel concept to some of these developers, there was one that mentioned that they had heard something about a Spyro 4 being in development. I was very much intrigued by this, so I started to mention that I had heard some information as well, just trying to get a feel as to what they knew. We spoke privately, and I found out that many of the whispers that I was hearing in private beforehand mostly lined up perfectly with what this developer knew. So while I was visiting different booths, and when the opportunity came up, I would bring up the subject of Spyro 4 to a developer with some information that I had heard from the con floor. Eventually, I found even more developers who had heard the exact same kind of info that I was hearing. Also, I wasn't just talking with developers, but I was speaking with many people from different forms of media and also other content creators as well. Now, I made a note on who shared any information with me just in case that they heard something additional while we were all at the convention. Then the trigger that led to this video being made happened. On Saturday night, while we were still in Boston for PAX East 2024, Jez, a head writer at Windows Central and a trusted source that we have referenced to many times in the past in previous videos when it came to both Crash and Spyro news, along with updates about the whole Activision Microsoft acquisition, dropped an article that made my eyes pop out of my head. The headline says, quote, "Xbox has reached an agreement with Crash Bandicoot Spyro dev Toys for Bob for their new game." Within the article, Jez states that during a meeting with Matt Booty, head of Xbox Game Studios, he confirmed that Toys for Bob and Xbox had reached an agreement on Toys for Bob working with Xbox for their very first indie title, meaning Toys for Bob is working on a title that is owned by Xbox. Jez also reminds everyone that both Crash Bandicoot and Spyro Dragon are officially owned by Xbox, meaning it could be any of those games. Jez goes on by saying, quote, however, he, Matt Booty, stopped short of describing exactly what it will be, although he did say something along the lines of, and I'm paraphrasing, it will be similar to games Toys for Bob has made in the past. Jez then goes on to reiterate the point that in Toys for Bob's announcement that they were going indie, that it says on the bottom, hold on to your horns, which is, of course, being a little nod towards Spyro the Dragon as a whole franchise. Now, I'm not here to fact check Jez. Heck, I'm not even here to report on what Jez just said. I am here to confirm that Jez is 100% right, as I heard everything that he said in this article and then some before it was published, both while being at PAX East and from previous private conversations that I mentioned at the start of this video. So, the next day, on Sunday, I went back to all the people who gave me information about this new Spyro project, and they had all read the exact same article as well. In fact, one of the sources that was more apprehensive about sharing additional details opened up even more and shared more details than before when I spoke with them because of Jez's article. So, without further ado, I can confirm this statement. As of March 2024, Spyro 4 is currently in development. It is being handled by Toys for Bob, and development started in and around January 2024. Because Toys for Bob has gone indie, they are now free to work directly with Microsoft on projects without Activision's bureaucracy and without the risk of being shifted onto other larger Activision projects at the expense of their own, as this has happened in the past with a certain rumbling multiplayer game along with others. But yes, according to over a dozen conversations I've had with numerous serious sources, Spyro 4 is currently in development. But don't break out the champagne quite yet. Remember how I said that there was a catch? Well, here it is. Like I just said, development has allegedly started in and around January 2024. That means it is very, very early. With how turbulent the gaming industry is and how projects can be handled and developed, this project does have the chance of either being delayed, canned, shelved, or changed into something completely new. So while I am vividly excited that a new Spyro game is currently in development, it is currently in a very delicate position. Just because it's being developed right now, it does not mean it will ever release. What I am saying right now is a fact, but a year from now, it might not be. So please keep that in mind. But in the end, we want nothing more than for this game to come out in a way that Toys for Bob wants, along with every employee being taken care of in the process. So, as long as everything goes exactly to plan, Spyro 4 is going to be released. With that said, what do you want to see from a new Spyro game? Scream your excitement and your ideas in the comment section below. If you want to stay up to date on everything Spyro and of course Spyro 4, make sure to subscribe. Thanks so much for watching, everybody. Bye-bye.